to connect. All right. We are live. Hi, everybody. Welcome. We're so excited to have Kelly with us today. Talking about a very needed discussion, I believe, and that we all have questions and how do we balance our work and life and all the activities and everything we've got to do and all our responsibilities, whether you're working outside the home or you're working in the home, because that, is work too. It takes a lot. So we're so excited to have Kelly with us, and we're going to give it a few minutes to, and Kelly can say hey too.
Okay. Hello.
We're going to give it a few minutes for y'all to hop in here. I'm going to make sure we are indeed live, and we are. Excellent.
I'm super excited to be here, and I just love that you all exist. I wish I had an organization like yours to turn to, when I was just newly postpartum, and I'm just it warms my heart that you do exist, and that it seems like there are more resources available, and that's just so needed. So
yeah, well, we are truly grateful, and we are honored and humbled to do the work that we do, and it is so very important. And I wish I had something like this when I was really battling, even if it's just for support and guidance and resources. So I appreciate that so much. All right, as y'all are hopping in, I am going to tell y'all more about Kelly. And she's going to be talking with us today about work-life balance and how we can take care of ourselves and with everything that we do. So we're so excited for that. And it's such an appropriate topic for this community and any mom, balancing all the things, because that's what we do. But she is a life coach that helps moms to end the tug of war between career, kids, and self, so they can live a fulfilling, balanced life with room for them in it. Through her signature coaching series, workshops, and speaking engagements, she empowers mothers to reconnect with themselves, stop operating from empty all the time, and live a life of their dreams free from mom guilt. Gosh, who is saying, oh, that's me? Kelly received her Bachelor of Arts from California State University, Northridge, and is a certified life coach. She's a mom of 2 young children that spent over a decade working in production finance, making her no stranger to the many hurdles and quirks that a mom working in corporate America often faces. She lives in Santa Clarita. Did I say that right?
You did.
Awesome. California. So it's early over there, and she holds workshops and speaking engagements nationwide and offers virtual coaching, allowing her to serve clients around the globe, which is amazing. So I guess it's 8 o'clock over there.
It is. I have my coffee.
Awesome. Well, great. Well, that's about Kelly, and I am so excited for her to share with y'all, because I think this is a really important topic and often brought up and discussed, and as we have questions about all the time. And as I was reading her bio, I was like, that's me, mom guilt and work-life balance and doing all the things for everybody. And but I think over time we can learn more and do better with self-care. So I'll hand it over to you, Kelly.
Thank you so much. I am beyond honored to be here. I guess I like to start client sessions and also this workshop by taking a few deep breaths to kind of settle into the space. So if you feel comfortable doing so, I invite you to join me. And I like to focus on, in the in-breath, bringing in grounding, bringing in presence and gratitude for this moment, that you took this time for yourself, which is huge, so huge. And on the exhale, just letting go of the to-do list, any narratives in your head, anything kind of swirling around there, trying to make space for this next, hour to be just for you. All right. So I'm going to, and there's, I don't know if you can hear the lawn maintenance going on outside. So I apologize for that. That'll be some ambient sound for you all. All right. So I'm going to close my eyes. If you feel comfortable doing the same, please do. And if you want to turn your camera off, feel free to do that as well. I'm just going to do a deep breath in and exhale. Another deep breath in and out. And one more in. And just let it all go. All right, now I feel all noodly and ready to jump in with you all. Let me see. I'm going to try and share my screen so we can start the presentation. Let me move this down. Okay. There you go. Can you all see my screen? Are we good?
Yes, I believe we should be good.
Perfect. Okay, so this workshop is called 3 Keys to Work-Life Balance for Exhausted Moms. Work-life self-balance. I'm really glad I forgot that last bit because that's exactly why this workshop exists. So I don't know about all of you, but I feel like work-life balance just doesn't cut it. To me, work-life balance spoke to, can I manage a career and can I manage kids? But where was the room for me and my self-care, my self-development? It just didn't feel like it made space for me. And one of the things that I am so passionate about is taking up space in my own life. I think that we all deserve to take up space in our lives. And I feel like it's harder for moms to feel, one, to take up space in their own life, and two, to feel like they deserve to take up space in their own life. So that's kind of the why behind this workshop. Who am I? So Christina did an excellent job of introducing me. My name is Kelly Fabiano, and I'm a life coach for exhausted moms. And I support them in reimagining mom life so that they can live exciting and fulfilling lives with room for them in it. A few of my personal beliefs that kind of have guided my coaching practice. I believe that we don't have to completely lose ourselves to fulfill the role of mom. I believe that honoring our needs and desires does not make us a bad parent. I believe that you don't have to be a natural to be an extraordinary mom. And I'll speak to that a little later. And I believe that it is possible to live a life that isn't dictated by mom guilt, exhaustion, and overwhelm. So what we're going to cover today, we're going to work through what work-life self-balance really is, what keeps us from achieving it, and 3 strategies for achieving work-life self-balance right now. And that is not a picture of me, but I have found myself many a time in that position. Maybe not with paper in my hands, but I will have, or we will open up the space for Q&A at the end of the workshop, but please feel free to hop in the chat and ask questions as they come up for you. I know that mom brain is a real thing, and I don't want you to forget. So please, I can answer questions throughout the entire time. I will also go into, how I can be of further support if that is desired. And we already did our little grounding exercise. So I am going to move forward. All right. So one thing I wanted to mention is that there is a workbook attached to this workshop. I don't know if you've already received it now, or have received it up until this point, or if you're going to be receiving it later. In the event that you're receiving it later or watching the replay, I just wanted to go over a few of the exercises so that you can integrate them on your own time. So the first exercise is your starting point. And this is something I take my clients through in the beginning of our series together. I want you, in completing this exercise, to really envision what work-life self-balance means to you. And if you were to live a life, if you were to achieve work-life self-balance, how would you feel? That's the biggest part for me, is how would it feel for you to have achieved this, to have this balance in your life? I like to guide the journey by how we're feeling. I feel like that's the most tangible thing. And how would you show up for yourself differently? So this is just what this is very tiny on the presentation. But when you fill out your workbook, I just wanted you to know kind of how to tackle that piece, and just free write whatever comes up for you. It can be bullet points, it can be words, it can be lyrics, it can be whatever, however you express yourself. But I think it's really important to kind of envision where it is you want to be, so that you have a direction in where to reach, if that makes sense. Okay. So if we had completed this live, the starting point, I think one thing that I notice occurring often is that work-life self-balance feels differently to all of us. It's highly individualized. But on the more technical end of things, or I guess, what is the right word? Yeah, I guess technically, achieving work-life self-balance is the ability to be fully present in each facet of your life without feeling constantly pulled or overwhelmed by responsibilities and situations occurring in the other parts of your life. So if I'm a career mom, it's being fully present at my job and not worrying about how I'm failing my kids. And I don't know if you can see me, but I put air quotes there. It's when I'm home with a sick kid, not feeling guilty to my boss, or feeling like I'm a bad career woman. It's being able to be in community with friends, or go get a massage, or take a walk, or whatever self-care looks like for you, without feeling selfish. I put tug of war there as kind of a mental note for myself, because I felt very much like no matter where I was in life, if I was at work, if I was at home, if I was with friends, I was being pulled in a million directions. Even if I wasn't actually, I didn't actually have another responsibility at the time, I did in my head. When our work-life self-balance is off, we can feel like everything is falling apart. I call this the hamster wheel from hell. I feel like that resonates deeply with me. I don't know how if it does with you all, but it feels like getting up from the moment you wake up, you're on that wheel, on that wheel, on that wheel, until you lay your head on the pillow. Who knows if you're going to sleep well? And as you're running on that wheel, you're showing up, you're physically there, but you're not really present in any of it. Resentment can come up. Resentment towards your partner, if you have a partner, towards your children, your job, yourself. You're constantly feeling rushed or anxious, unfulfilled, exhausted. This one is the heaviest one for me. I see this with my clients a lot, and it just hurts my heart, but feeling like we're failing daily. just that feeling of failing. It's horrible. Feeling defeated, deflated, and exhausted. And then there's that often a loss of individuality. So we are all the things to everybody else. And in being that, we no longer know who we are. So if someone asks us what we want, maybe, we sleep might come to mind, or coffee. I live by coffee. But as far as like the deep stuff, like what do I want out of life? I don't know. And disconnected. I feel like that's kind of one and the same, but disconnected from our partners and ourselves. And then I don't know if there's any, or I can't see the chat. So Christina, are we good on questions for right now?
Right now, yes.
Okay. I just didn't want to leave anyone out. Okay. So what is work-life self-balance when we have it? We're experiencing moments of ease throughout our day, and really want to highlight that it's moments, not 100% of the time, right? That's not realistic. We're making decisions from a centered and grounded place. We're feeling like a whole, fulfilled human being. So I'm not just a mom. I'm not just a career woman. I'm not just a partner. I am Kelly. I am a whole human with many facets. We can kick mom guilt to the curb. Love this one. And celebrate our successes, both as a mother and as an individual, and own who we are and love ourselves. I also find that, for women that are also career women working outside of the house, we often feel like if we get a promotion or we do really well at our job, it's kind of tainted by the fact that, oh yeah, but we're failing our kids because we're not home with them. So I love being able to own that. Yes, I am a boss woman and I'm killing it. Also having better connection to ourselves, our partners, and our children, falling back in love with our careers or finding one we can fall in love with, and making time and space in our daily lives to tend to our individual needs and desires. And last, but certainly not least, reconnecting with the pre-parent version of ourselves, because I don't believe that identity needs to completely die off because we've taken on a new identity. Oops, let me see. I have something. Okay. Okay. Yes. All right. And I skipped back. Okay. My story. So I was so honored, am so honored to be here with digging deeper into motherhood and Cherished Mom. Because I survived through postpartum psychosis and anxiety. And I share that because I think it's important to share. And I feel extremely comfortable sharing it in this container because of everything that Cherished Mom does. So in this picture is my oldest son. He's 6 years old now, and my youngest son is 3. With my oldest son, I had postpartum psychosis, and it was absolutely terrifying. And I had no idea that it existed, and I had nowhere to turn. And so that's why I'm just incredibly grateful that an organization like Cherished Mom exists. Postpartum psychosis to me sounds like the heaviest one, right? But with my son, Henry, I was keenly aware and terrified that would happen again after giving birth to him. And for the first 3 months of our time together at home, that just wasn't present. And I thought I had escaped any postpartum mental illness. And then I went back to work, and I just got slapped in the face with postpartum anxiety. And that was actually that was the toughest one to struggle through. It led to me having suicidal ideation. And thank God for treatment and outside help. I am here today. I honestly don't know that I would be here if there wasn't outside help available. So that is a part of my story. And it was a catalyst for, once I had received proper mental health help and treatment, I realized in going through that I wanted to make more space for myself in my life, that was that felt like a component to all of this, was that I didn't know who I was anymore. I just didn't know who I was. And I had never seen a life coach before. And I honestly thought that was pretty hokey. But I had met someone that I really resonated with, and I started working with her, and it changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. And in that, I changed careers, and I decided that I also wanted to provide this support, life coaching support. And I specifically wanted to provide it to mothers. I just think we need it more than anybody, but I'm biased. Let me just check so much love. Okay. So I keep skipping back every time I open the chat. If you can't tell, technology is foe, not friend for me. Okay. So do I think I could have avoided mental illness by seeing a life coach first? No, absolutely not. But I think the hamster wheel from hell that I was on, that would have helped. I left out of my story previously that I was commuting an hour and a half each way to work. And I worked for a woman that is a beautiful human being, but I didn't have children and didn't understand so much when I would have to stay home because my son had hand, foot, and mouth disease or the flu, and that basically from October to March is flu season, which what? So it was really exhausting. And I felt like I was getting up at 5 a.m. every morning. My poor kids were getting up so early just so that we could make the 1.5 hour commute, get them there, go straight to work my butt off, pick them up, slap them back home for an 1.5 to 2 hour commute, depending on traffic. Those of you that live in California, the 5 is horrendous. It was just, there was no room for living. And in working with a coach, I was able to make room for living in my life. All right. So what keeps us from achieving work-life self-balance? I noticed 4 main areas in working with clients that pop up the most often. So I thought those would be the ones that I'd share with you all. The first one is comparison. I love Instagram and hate Instagram and Facebook, and just got into TikTok. It sucked me in. But I just want to be super clear that even the people that are posting the hard stuff, this is through a very intentional lens. And there's no way that we can see what's really going on inside by looking at someone's outsides and how they present themselves to the outside world. In looking at moms killing mom life, and I found myself often when I would look at stay-at-home moms feeling like, oh, they're so much better than I am, or looking at a career mom who's like showing up in that suit and seem like all put together. That's not really my thing. Like I just was always falling short. So And even with our mom friends, our closest friends, I think it's important to remember that we're not inside someone else's head. And if we compare our insides to other people's outsides, we're always going to be falling in second place, if not last place. And that's just not a place we deserve to be. Mom guilt. That's number 2. And these are not in order of importance, by the way. They all hit us differently. So I want to start out by saying that mom guilt is natural. It happens to, I haven't met a mom that has not had mom guilt, that has never felt guilty, has never felt that in their entire, mom life. I think that we do all carry it in one form of another or another, and that it's built into our programming. It's built into our societal programming. It's built into the gender role expectation. Don't even get me started on that. But I think the key problem or I guess where I find solution with clients is in the fact that we believe we're supposed to have this guilt, that it belongs to us, that good moms carry mom guilt anytime they're not showing up as 1,000% mom. And that's just not true. It's just not true. I don't think that we can live 100% mom guilt free, but I know we can ditch the story that this guilt belongs to us. Coming from someone personally, from myself, who mom guilt was the baseline for me. It's not anymore. And when it comes up, I can see it for what it is, a story, and not let it take me down. So it is possible. The third kind of hiccup is the loss of connection to self. So for those of us that carried our children in our womb space, our bodies go through the ringer. Without being too TMI here, my body is still going through the ringer. I have prolapse. I've had 3 hernias. And I can no longer do jumping jacks or jog. And it's not fun times. I feel like in that process of birthing a child and having a child possibly connected to breast for however long, our body parts just don't feel like ours anymore. They've been lived in. And I think that connection to the body is not only difficult for some women after childbirth, but it's something that many of us actively avoid. No matter how your children arrived in this world, I feel that it's nearly impossible not to feel as if our whole body is permanently attached to them, even when they aren't in the room. There's also the side of, so there's physical connection, and then there's emotional, spiritual connection. In being all the things, I feel like we don't feel we're worthy to take time to connect with our wants and needs. And again, we're everything to everyone, and that leaves very little time to be anything to ourselves. We don't allow ourselves the time and space to check in and connect with our emotions. That check-in can be as small as 30 seconds of breath that we don't feel we're entitled to. And that's just mind-boggling to me. Okay, my goodness, Kelly Lynn. Okay, what keeps us from achieving? Oh, why am I reading the title? Folks, I'm sorry. The 4th is lack of boundaries at work and home. So whether you're a stay-at-home mom or a career mom working outside of the home, the fear and discomfort in delegating or asking for help can really keep us from making space for ourselves. Stay-at-home moms, I've noticed that some of my clients feel like they need to do it all because they're not the quote unquote breadwinner. And that's their job, is to be the mom. So they need to be the mom 100% of the time, all day, every day. Corporate moms, I see a lot, the fear of delegating or saying no to tasks or responsibilities that they don't have time for, that there's just not space for, because they're in fear of retaliation in some form of, or another, missing out on a promotion or a raise, or I don't know, so many other things, even the workplace chatter, all those microaggressions that you can hear in the office. Those are fun. I got asked why I pump in a mother's lounge in our office and why I couldn't just use the bathroom. And I love my husband because he told me to go back to that. It was a gentleman that wasn't a gentlemanly thing to say, but it was a man that said that. And my husband said, why don't you ask him if he makes his peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the bathroom? The good news is that I've noticed that work-life balance is drastically shifting in corporate America. Things that we thought we could never ask for, like remote work and flex schedule, are now becoming more and more available. I wish I had remembered the name of the organization. I'll pop it into the Facebook group later, but there's a specific organization that I wonder if it's Mom Project. That specifically looks for and promotes and advertises remote work and flex schedule opportunities. Okay, so the next activity that you would find in your workbook is to flip the script. This is an exercise that I take clients through. I'm big on contrary evidence. So I can feel like I'm a bad mom, I'm a bad career woman, I'm a bad partner, I'm all of these things. But I find it helpful to write what I know is true as well. I know that I love my children. I know that I give them more than what was given to me, which is not to put my mom down. She gave me more than what her mom gave her. There are a million things about me that I'm proud of. And I think it's important to see that side of things. And I think that often in doing this exercise, clients are able to see a story as a story and not as a truth. So one of the examples I had for you, so that you know how to fill this out offline in the future, is I found myself, when I've blown up and yelled at one of my kids, I take the narrative, I'm a bad mom. That's my disempowering story. I'm a bad mom, or I'm just like my mom, right? And what I know to be true is that after I blew up, I apologized to my son. And although I wish I had never yelled to begin with, I repaired that relationship with him by coming back to him. And that's something that wasn't done in my childhood. And that's valuable and that matters. So that's just an idea for one way to shift, to flip the script there. And okay, so the juicy stuff, 3 ways to achieve work-life self-balance right now. The first is, and this is obviously, yes, easier said than done, drop the mom guilt. It doesn't have to permeate every aspect of our life. So if we can recognize it and call it out, we've already won half the battle. And when I say that, I will encourage clients to keep a mom guilt journal for a week, no longer than a week, because we don't need to sit in that stuff. But write down what comes up. What are the thoughts that come up? When are they coming up? And how often? That way it's taking up less space in your head and it's on the paper. it loses its power by at least half in just that. Then you look at the stories and where they're coming from. Are they really true? I think that a lot of the time, the majority of that, it's just not true. And there's also the building contrary evidence as well. That's another piece to that. There's a ton of tools for dropping the mom guilt, but we don't have enough time to go over all of them. The second is to build your village and delegate. So one exercise I have clients run through is a momventory, which is just a little hokey way of saying an inventory. So they take stock of the resources and time available to them so that they can build adequate support. And I ask them to write down every single person that is capable of helping them in some way, whether or not they think they deserve that help, or whether or not they think they'd be comfortable asking for it. I want you to list every single person, and you'd be surprised. So, I just needed to take a beat. So you cannot be everything to everyone all the time. I find a lot of comfort in reminding myself that, and sometimes I need to remind myself that daily. It's not physically possible. I can't be 100% of a mom, 100% of a partner, and 100%. It's just not possible. And I think that we, COVID times really made that evident, not just to us moms that already knew that, but to employers and partners that saw that, oh, wow, you can't be a teacher and show up for your career simultaneously. You had to let one go in order to do the other. It was an exercise of dropping one and picking up the other and juggling. And I also want to note that we don't all have the same resources available. Some of us are single parents, some of us have a partner, some of us have family nearby, some of us have no family nearby, some of us have lots of mom friends and community, and some of us don't. And another big piece of this is finances. We all have different financial situations. I also want to lend that I've worked with clients on, pretty much every end of that spectrum, and they were able to find support in one way or another. So I do think it's possible for all of us to find some form of support. And we absolutely deserve it. And then the last strategy is to rewrite the script on motherhood. And this is my bread and butter. I love this so much. This is what kind of turned it all around for me. It was realizing that I don't have to be my mom. I don't have to be my mom's mom. I don't have to be the mom I see on TV. I don't have to be the mom I see on Instagram and Facebook and all of the things. I need to be a mom who shows up how she wants to show up, with my own unique individual gifts, personality, quirks, all of that good stuff. And so one thing that I'll take clients through is kind of writing out their mama mission statement and coming up with, well, this is how I want to show up for my kids. This is how I want to show up for my partner. This is how I want to show up for myself. These are my non-negotiables. For instance, my non-negotiable is I am going to go for a morning walk every single day. My kids can be sick. Work can be slammed, but that walk is going to happen because that walk saves my mental health. And if you want me around, I need my dang walk. All right, let me just, so much love. I'm feeling all gushy. Okay. And I did, wait, no, I think I did it the right way. Okay. The last exercise, and I wish we were all in a room together to do this, is to lay it down. What ideas, beliefs, expectations of what makes a good mom would you like to discard today? So for this exercise, I want you to write out everything you want to just drop right here and now. And I'm not going to encourage you to burn it because fire hazard. But some people have done that. Crumple it up, rip it up, I don't know, do whatever you want to do with it, but lay that stuff down and chuck it. It's something that I love to do in person. It's so much fun. So I encourage you, if you are, doing this offline, grab a few mom friends, print out extra sheets for them, and have them lay it all down with you. It's such a cathartic, beautiful, empowering experience. So I wish I could be there with you. Okay, so I love that. So this is actually part of my slide, regardless of what audience I'm speaking to. And I love that it's want to dig deeper with digging deeper into motherhood. That just made me very happy because I am a nerd. So as Christina mentioned, and myself, I'm also a life coach, and I offer a 3-month private coaching series called Life Reimagined. And in that series, we drop the freaking mom guilt. We take up space in our own lives. And I support you in, living a life that doesn't feel like you're operating from empty all the time. I love this series. I'm passionate about it. I love seeing the transformation in my clients, and that is available if you are so interested. I left so here's my email, my Instagram, and my Facebook. So feel free to, I feel like such a poser for saying this, but slide into my DMs if you want to discuss further. And I just want to thank you so much for all of your time. Let me stop sharing so you can see my face. I mean, not that you need to see my face, but I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for taking the time out for yourself. And I just really hope that something in this presentation resonated with you. I hope you're able to take some of these strategies away and use them in your daily life. And I just hope that you leave this taking up more space in your own day in life. So I'll open it up for questions. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. That was so great, Kelly. I even went to my personal Facebook page and was like, there are gems being dropped every week in this Facebook group. If you're not a part of it, then you're missing out.
Thank you.
Another great presentation. And we're so thankful for your knowledge and expertise. And I had no idea. Let me change this view so they can see us both. I had no idea that you were a postpartum psychosis survivor too. So of course, whenever someone says that, I'm like, what? Wait, did I know that? No, I didn't know. And it breaks my heart. It's always bittersweet because it breaks my heart that you had to go through that. But there's so many survivors that are using what they went through to help other mamas, which is so powerful and beneficial. And so thank you for doing that and learning how to show up for yourself, because usually we never know and don't learn till it can be too late. And for all that you do for moms and showing up for them too, and providing them a safe space to talk about anything and everything, because it's so important. You guys, I hope you get how important support, not just from professionals and providers and prescribers, but also the support of a community who understands, is so impactful and beneficial to any recovery journey, whether you're going through postpartum issues or grief or loss or substance abuse issues, anything and everything. There, usually there's a support group for everything that you can be among people that truly get it. So I would encourage you to reach out, get resources and support. But so Kelly talked so much about mom guilt and how we can just get rid of it and lay it down, which I don't think we can get rid of it completely, because it's always gonna be there. But how can we maintain a healthy level of mom guilt so it doesn't interfere with our daily lives, and we can show up for ourselves and our kids.
Yeah. I resonated with everything you said. It's heartbreaking to hear that another mom went through postpartum psychosis, and it's also comforting to know that it wasn't just you, that you weren't alone. And I'm so glad that you exist and that you are offering this support to moms. It's so absolutely needed. And it's inspiring. And it just makes me really hopeful that there will be more moms that are supported and that know that there are resources available to them. And they don't have to suffer alone.
Yeah, so important. And I appreciate that so much. We certainly cannot do what we do without people like you and sharing and being willing to hop on here for an hour and give so much good information and answer questions and be part of the group as well. It takes a village, as we all know, to raise kids, but it takes a village to raise a family. It also takes a village to do all that we do. So
Yeah,
so grateful.
absolutely. And the taking a village didn't resonate with me or didn't really hit me hard until my postpartum anxiety. And I was isolated. I didn't do the play date thing. I didn't have a lot of friends. I just kind of we moved so far away from where we were previously that we were kind of isolated. And I took that for granted that, we need each other. We can't do it alone. We just simply can't. And we don't have to, and we don't deserve to. So I get off my soapbox.
Awesome. Well, are there any? I've got someone else monitoring the chat as we're talking. But I know a question that many of us may have is, when we are having that, oh gosh, I should have, could have, would have, should have, whatever thought, right in the moment, what are your suggestions to help deal with that?
So, I think there are a few ways to tackle that. Sometimes just grounding in and taking a breath, or so I had learned in seeking outside help that our body can reset every 20 seconds, which I think is incredible. So if you need to use something that's referred to as a help now skill, you can take a cold drink of water. You can push a wall for 20 seconds. Look around the room and see 5 things that you can see. How many things can you smell? What can you touch? So that's one way to kind of get out of the swirl. I would say journaling it, writing it down, but I also know that that's not available to us all the time, right? So, and sometimes that's the last thing we feel like doing when we're in it. I think though that another thing, but you asked what's helpful right away. So that's a tricky one. I'll still offer it because it's been a game changer for me, is this, and it was offered to me by my coach, Mandy Shakatano. She had me do a nightly wins list. And so I would keep a journal by my bed, and I would just have to bullet points of how I showed up for myself, my kids, work, whatever, my wins for the day. And when that would have, should have, could have is swirling around, I have that list of, well, but this is how I am rocking it. Like I've built so much evidence. I'm a very analytical overthinker. And so for me, building contrary evidence of how I think I'm this thing, but I know this to be true, really helped that, all of that mush kind of lose its power. I don't know if that was helpful, but that's what I would offer up. Yeah.
I think that's great. Like I said, I think mom guilt is a thing for every mom. If you don't have mom guilt, chat with us. Tell us what your secret is.
Exactly. No, please. I want to know. I have not met a single person. Yeah.
It's definitely a subject that gets brought up in many of our support groups. And we all relate to each other because we feel the mom guilt over many, many different things, whether it's about, whether it's needed or not. But so grateful for you. We're coming up on 11:56, so I'll be mindful of everybody's time. And thank you all so much for joining with us. Be sure to check out Kelly's Instagram and Facebook that she shared. She's also in the group, so I'm sure she'd be happy to answer questions if they came up later.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I love talking about this stuff. So
awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, guys. We're going to hop off, but we hope you have a great day. And we'll be back next week with more gems to be dropped. And with, I can't remember who's up next week, but we'll let you know.
Thank
so we'll
you
be signing
so
off. Thanks, guys.
Bye.